Alright, good evening and welcome to round 2 of the ASR Summer Series. You can hear the cars going in the background, where it is the qualifying session. Now, for this session, I'm going to be muted because I've got my food here for dinner and I'm going to have to do a little bit of a driver's briefing after. So, I'm not going to have time to talk. So, I'll have the images up on your screen right now. There we are. And I'll have myself muted, but we should have in-game audio. But we're currently looking at a special guest, Smeevil McNeevil, aka Luke Rosell. He may find himself with random 255 kilo penalties whenever I feel like it, just for the hell of it, because he's someone that absolutely hates anything that isn't a race car with 4,000 kilos of downforce at 5 kilometers per hour and isn't, over 600 horsepower. So, and especially if it's front wheel drive. So I'm surprised he's out here. And because he is, we're going to fucking troll the shit out of him. So, don't mind me swearing. This is a summer series where no one gives a stuff. If I had one, I'd be wearing a Hawaiian shirt and just, living the meme. So, anyway, I'm going to go mute myself and finish my burger. You guys enjoy this incredibly slow lap with Smeevil McNeevil. And we've scoffed down our burger. And Scott Nolan 2 goes to P3. Unfortunately, we don't have any hot air balloons this week. Well, at least ones of the FA-18 variety, of the Australian Air Force variety. But we have those. Not quite as entertaining as a hot air balloon doing a high-speed pass at Mark 3, but it's something we're just going to have to deal with. One thing that has been, I guess, forgotten about from from a number of people throughout the summer series. Well, sorry, throughout doing laps around here at Sandown, and may have missed during the Enduro Cup. Of course, many people picked up the Rosella's Fruiterers, but this building back here, there's actually a pub here, Sandown pub, just back here, that doesn't quite make the broadcast. Obviously there's some trees in the way that sort of clip through it, but I thought I'd include a building there to sort of signify a pub. And then further down this road, now I've got time to spare, so just bear with me here, so I'm just mucking around. A little bit further, once I turn this camera around, up that hill there, and there's a bridge. You can't really see it, it's not really highly detailed. I did want to put a McDonald's in there, because at the top of that hill behind the bridge, it's like I think it's a big, I don't know if it's a Bunnings or if it's a big office works, and there's also a a McDonald's down there. And then of course got the famous tree down here where some idiot was doing a shoey and still hasn't received their hat. So Blendline TV, if anybody of your crew watches this back, I'm still wanting that hat, and if I don't get it, I'm going to steal one of your cameras. So sorry, I will not steal, but I'll claim what is rightfully mine after you didn't supply me with the hat that you promised me. So still waiting on that hat. And this big red building here, that's a shitter. So so yeah, not just a shed on the other version, it's actually in real life it's a shitter. And of course, speaking of shitters, we've got Rosella's Fruiterers right here with gourmet fresh fruit. But yeah, still waiting, according to Rossi. I don't know why. Borrow, yeah, still waiting. Yeah, that's for sure. And of course, you can hear the fans going ballistic in the background there, cheering on their favourite drivers. Look at that high-speed pass, doing approximately 67 kilometers per hour. Of course, you've got this emergency ambulance here. I am sure we're going to need that throughout the night. We'll also need this tow truck and a flatbed, and I'm sure we're probably going to need a hearse, which we don't actually have. So when we do Sandown next year for the Enduro Cup, or sorry, not the Enduro Cup, for now the calendar is released for the just the regular Sandown Retro round, I'll have to include a retro hearse. If there's a 3D model of like a Ford Falcon AU hearse, because I've seen plenty of them around, we'll have to get that in there, because I'm sure there's going to be some death to be had by many of these drivers being a little bit too ambitious at coming down the hill towards Dandy Road. But as you can see, capacity crowd. The marshals are stunned at what they have seen, with some Randy that doesn't like these kind of cars put it on top at the moment. We've got Christian Alvarez has jumped up to P2. So after not quite... actually, I don't think he was able to get in to set a lap. Correct me if I'm wrong. Last week in qualifying. This week, you'll start from the front. So, yeah, hopefully he won't have too many people to deal with and get bumped out of the way like he was for most of last week. But setting himself up for a decent starting position in this one. And Tim Redmond, who's the fast man in practice once again, only able to manage 7th. So he'll be disappointed with that effort. But of course, got 4 races tonight. Plenty of racing as Rhodey goes P10. And not a bad lap there. I guess it helps when you're not on 2 wheels and, or on your roof at the final corner, like he managed a couple times there last week at Barbagallo. But I'm sure here at turns 2 or 3, we're going to see him in particular maybe go over on his side, a la Brendan Ross in the Enduro Cup that cost Team Has Been the Enduro Cup overall. Actually, no, scratch. No, he didn't cost us that, because he did a lot of carrying through that series. It was more so the incident with Rhodey's teammate that cost us quite big there. But we'll tell that story another time, perhaps in, I don't know, race one. But anyway, anyone believe that is the session over? We've got Luke Rosella doing reverse doughies down there in the podium. See, now you jump in with one of these names and you know exactly where this podium is, and you immediately go to the top. You think we won't know who you are. So yeah, you've been had, Schmeevel McNevel, and your reverse doughies garbage. But anyway, we'll take a short break from this therapy session, and we'll be back for race number one after I conduct a little bit of a driver's briefing. We'll see you shortly. Don't go anywhere. Alright, we're back from the driver's briefing. I've just heard that Meatloaf has died, and I have to announce that I don't give two flying fucks that Meatloaf has died. Wasn't a fan, sang terribly at the grand final. And, well, for his immediate family members and people that are close to him, yes, it's a tragedy, but ultimately, I don't really have feelings for him. So, I guess RIP, but, yeah. Anyway, we have quote unquote, end quote, race cars here at Sandown International Raceway. I would like to bring up a graphic for you guys, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not talented enough. And, oh look, we've got our spam bots are back, so it looks like I'm going to have to jump into good old YouTube again and get that all sorted. But, yeah, a bit of work to do for that man that was just on screen in Tim Redmond, and got Greg Tyra out there having a big go into turn number 1. Might get some double audio here, yep. And that is now gone. And remove, and remove, and remove. Gonna have to get off OBS and try and find another bloody streaming service, I think, because this is getting quite frustrating, this live chat garbage, and you can get yourself banned even though it's not your fault that these spam bots come in and just spam inappropriate messages. But this is just the social media world where it doesn't matter. Their context doesn't matter in today's day and age, as I go on a bit of a tangent. But yeah, so I'll report that, but lo and behold, I'll probably end up being banned myself because I wasn't moderating the chat. But anyway, as you can see, Greg Turner there having massive crack coming out of the final corner underneath the shadows of the balloons, and we've got a slow number 87 of Schmeevel McLoserface Bruzella. Leaving the pit lane there. We've got a car off down there at Dandy Road. Got 2 cars off. Oh no, they're all gone. They're all gone. There's 2 of them off, and they're beached. They're beached down there. And hey, hold on a minute. Blendline TV. Give me my fucking hat. Give me my hat. As, jeez, that guy, where was he? Yeah, that guy right there in the center screen there, he's, with that fence in the way, he doesn't look too happy. So, hide your kids, and wise everybody. As, Taipan comes down there and almost dies. Luke Rosella almost dies. Greg Tara does die. Now, does he avoid the gravel trap? He does. So you look up the top of the hill and see some more cars cresting over the top, and well, that's an adventurous line, has to be said there. And that's Darren Lachlan down there, and he struggles to pull that up. Does some lawn mowing down there. Try and see if I can get Lawn Hub to sponsor this series with their many puntastic advertisements. But yeah, still 4 minutes to go in the warm-up. Plenty of shit to be had, or spoken. It's pretty much every word I say, I guess. But here we are. There's some more cars. Oh, I've just cut away at the wrong time. Some cars there doing their best. Well, best worst impressions, I guess. Did see a number of guys down there, the pit straight, off into the ether down there, trying to do practice starts, but that's far too serious for this series. I'm sorry, you're just taking this far too seriously if you're doing practice starts, but I guess that's the world we live in nowadays. Everybody takes everything far too seriously, like a fun series in a bunch of shit boxes. But here we are. as Greg Tara has a massive crack at turn 6. And at Danny Rowe, too much of a crack. And again, he's able to live to fight another day. It's got a big one on the side there. He's almost had the big one. To see White Saudi Camel. And there, Mike Coulson. Good to see him back out there racing. Nice little livery there. And that's a massive smash for Tander. I mean, Darren Loughnane. And, well, those recovery vehicles are going to be put to some use there. Don't want to be hitting those tyre walls, that's for sure. They're pretty deadly, those ones. Surprised no one's gone off in. Well, maybe we'll see it in these races. People trying to go side by side through here. So, again, Lockie Lock. And I can't remember who's in that 26 car. But they're holding on for dear life. Is it Noah Tara? Yes, it is. Holding on for dear life down there. And then getting themselves beached in the gravel trap. So, see you later, mate. You're going to be there a while. Gravel trap, just like Barbie Gallo here. People clamour for them in real life racing, and they get them in sim racing and hate them when they get gravel traps like this. So have fun getting out of there. That's a 5-minute job. And around here, well, that's it. That's your race done. So don't get yourself beached. Do not get yourself beached down there. As we look at this absolute steaming heap of garbage. Chevrolet Camaro. Saw a new one of them, the new model out on the road today, and I have to say that somehow they've got the looks worse. But oh well, that's just the American car. That's just American car companies for you. As again, minute to go in the warm up, the lull before the storm, and I'm sure there's going to be a bit of a storm around here. It's Redmond to 33.5. I think that's quite a lot quicker than a lot of the lap times we've seen around here. Actually, no, I think we did see a 32.8 or something by Redmond himself in practice. Just got to go double check the old live races. So for those that want to take this live stream far too seriously, head over to asrleague.liveraces.com/live. And it'll give you the server on the left hand side under active servers. Click on that and it'll give you a track map, the top 50 best laps by class, which is just by car in this case, live timing, and then the overall fastest top 50 laps. So Tim Redmond did do a 32.8 in practice, with Schmeevel McLoserface Luke Rosella doing a 32.955 as Cracker latecomer. He's just jumped in, gone P8 with 34.8, and overall that 34.8 puts him 14th. So right there in the mid pack, as see once again Greg Tara doing some lawn mowing at Dandenong Road. Well, it's going to be desert down there by the time race 1 is over, let alone race 2 or the night, with the way he's been going. So I'm going to have to make some modifications to this circuit once again when we do get to the Sandown round, retro round in the supercars later in the year, because I should just make it all just dirt down there, because there's not going to be any grass. As Noah Tara goes to the top on a 33.4, and that is a actual personal best there. So nice effort from the younger of the Taras, and some more bragging rights over the old man. As we see the second best Scott Nolan going around. He's currently in P6. But we did see last week that as the races wore on, he did get progressively better. And I would expect that to be the case here. But now we play the waiting game, as Brendan Ross is going backwards around the circuit. Hopefully Mike Coulson just hits him. And I'm disappointed he's not hit him there. And we can see smoke coming from that Uno engine. So that engine being revved quite hard there. But he's not actually that far away from the overall top speed of that car either. So Pushing hard down there. Young Brendan Ross. And he's definitely listening to the broadcast, or watching the broadcast on his other screen, I should say, because he's got the lights flashing and on. So definitely a bit of a show pony at the moment. So we'll skip to someone else who's not as much of a show pony in Rody, who's sitting in the pits because the session's just ticked over. Alright, has ticked over to the race session, as you can hear, with the old sirens blaring. I will just put a link up to on the Facebook page regarding the live broadcast. So do bear with me here. And riveting commentary right now. During the week I did get, someone did say to me, I won't name names, but someone did say to me that I did some really professional-like commentary and broadcast style during my previous broadcasts last year. And I think that's utterly false. But here we are. And someone has already taken off from their pits. Not sure who that was. It was Matt Cecil that took off. And, well, it's lucky he's not going to find himself with a penalty. Well, Rody's in the pits. Rody is in the pit lane. I'm not sure what happened there. We'll just double check and see if there hasn't been anything in... No, nothing in the live chat. So yeah, I'm not sure why Rody's in the pits, but he's in the pits. So RIP Rody, and it will be Boaty McBoatface will start from pole position in this one, ahead of Christian Alvarez, who won't want to be a punching bag this week. We've got the moustached Wonder going to start from third place. At least he looks better with a mustache than without. Scott Nolan 2, the second best Scott Nolan in Australia will start P4. Noah Turra will start P5 ahead of the old man in P6. Sim Redmond, after a disappointing qualifying session, will start in P7 ahead of Laszlo Teglash. Then we have Lachlan Locke will start from P9. Rody has made it to the pit exit and getting a stern look over by our resident marshal down there. That's Renato Simeone, I believe, that texture image of that marshal. So, Rody, I hope you know that he is judging you hard right now and probably saying to you, this cunt can't drive. So, there you go. Matt Cecil, the one that wanted to cause an accident on the formation lap, has indeed done so. Hasn't run into anybody else on the grid this time, but spun himself around this time. He'll start P11. Glenn Miles in P12, with Darren Loughnane will start from 13th place. Brian Walsh behind Glenn Miles. So might be some fisticuffs down there if finds himself behind Glenn for a number of these races here. NZ Snipes will start in P15 with Taipan in P16. Nathan Higginson will be hoping not to go sideways all that often in this one. He'll start P17, so he's got a bit of work to do ahead of a late-coming cracker. Melody Smith will start 19th. Termo will start in 20th, with Mike Coulston and Ben Hall rounding out this 22-car field, with Rody starting, of course, from the pit lane because somebody forgot to press the race button. Alright, revs are rising, lights are on. And we are off in slow motion as the cars roar towards turn 1 at 50 kilometers per hour, and Schmeevel leads, so we'll skip him. And just go to the long shot. Any drama down the back? No, we've managed to live through turn 1 in most of the races so far, which is a bit of a surprise. We've got a bit of lockups there from both Tim Redmond and Lockie Lock there, and a big dive from that's Noah Turra there on Tim Redmond. Can't quite make it work, but it is Smeevil McNeevil leading Christian Alvarez. A bit of a gap to Nolan and Ross with some bump drafting now. This didn't end well last week. We'll ride on board Rossi and see if it ends badly again down here at turn 6, where we've seen some monster shunts in real life. And he's lifted off. That's disappointing. He's not having a crack. And he might find himself with a penalty later on in this race for just not having a big enough crack, even though he almost died there coming down the hill. Now, we've got both the Glenn Miles and Brian Walsh cars duking it out. There's a bit of contact down there at Downey Road, and that's one of them off, and there's contact around. That's Taipan and Darren Loughnane there, with Walsh going a bit slow there, sort of caught them all out, and well, they're the first victims of Dandenong Road. I expect there to be a number of them, and they're the first ones here in race number 1. As well, are some slipstream in these cars. Schmeevel's gone straight to the left-hand side of the track to, well, prevent Alvarez from getting that slipstream, and Alvarez didn't follow him. So there you go. He's got Ross in the background on the grass, Nolan 2 sideways, but the front 4 just starting to edge, well, the second, third and fourth just starting to edge a little bit closer together. Redmond's made his way up to P number 5 with a big dive from Noah Turra on his old man. After an initial bad start, he's now got himself back up ahead of his old man, which is all he wants, is old man Greg just get out of the way as Matt Cecil's action-packed night continues after one and a sector laps down there, as he's on 2 wheels down there at turn 4. And you've got Higginson a little bit sideways down there as well, as Miles, Melody Smith and Mike Coulson all duke it out here. We could see a drama here. They might even go 3 wide. Well, no, bit of bump drafting between Smith and Miles. Smith sort of thinking about pulling out. Does pull out. They're going to go 3 wide. And Glenn's just going to keep his foot down, and he's going to get both those positions and then cut the corner. But yeah, there's other 2 there, Coulson and Smith, a little bit gun shy, and then, well, the Miles there, very poor run off Dandy Road. Got yellows down here. Got a car off. It's Turra. Greg Turra has gone on now. It's just looks like, yeah, just a driving mistake. And, well, he's forgotten that it's front-wheel drive and he can just power out of it. And we've got Mike Coulston around as well. So what's happened here? See, a little bit of Biff and Barge, or did he just make a mistake as well? No, he's done the same thing. He's done the same thing. So disaster for those guys down there. So we've got Higginson to cut to him and, well, predictably sideways. Doing his best to, well, turn this into a rally. Unfortunately for him, it's not a rally. This is all asphalt around here, my friend. But in the mid-pack, these battles just a little bit spread out at the moment. A little bit further ahead, though, we've got Redmond and Ross and Nolan all duking it out with Alvarez. So Ross ahead of Alvarez is, for whatever reason, getting blue flag. Must be just a lag glitch there, and it'll fix itself up once he goes over the sector line. But Alvarez is in what is effectively 3rd place. Just the game, just AMS doing AMS things. Once he goes over the start-finish line, it should fix itself. And we've got Ben Hall off down the road, and Nathan Higginson doing his best to lose it as well down there. So what has Ben Hall done? Oh, that's interesting. And he saved it, and then, well, lost it. And died. And Higginson almost died. And we've got Loughnane off, and we've got Smith off as well. So what are these 2 done? They've once again, incident down there, Loughnane, and we've got Rhodey off. Rhodey having a drama down there, down at Dandenong Road after starting from the pits, but he's actually moved up a position with that, with Lachlan obviously having a bit of a drama. So we might have to go to bit of dandy road cam, I think, because everyone gets down there and just dies. But Schmeevel leads ahead of Ross and Redmond, with Nolan 2 not too far away. And Alvarez has actually dropped to the back of that pack, so just starting to fall away a little bit. Didn't catch that because they're too busy looking at people wobble off the road down at this part of the circuit. And we've still got Melody Smith trying to get out of there. Lock up for Rossi. A little bit wide on the exit. That's going to bring all these cars closer together as Rossi defends. And Redmond going to try and go around the outside and gets the job done. That's a bit weak from Rossi. He's going to try and do the switch over and under. Will he get the job done is the question. We'll have to wait 2 minutes as they get towards turn number 1. Oh, a little bit... I don't know what Rossi's doing there. Maybe trying to get a bit of a side draft there. Now, will he send it into turn 1? It is bumpy on the inside. And he's going to pussy out of it. Rossi, I'm quite disappointed watching this. And, well, here we go. Having a look into turn 2. And then darts back. This is not what we want to see. And he's stuffed up the chicane doing so. So, trying to get too cute. Stuffed it up. Might lose a position here to Scott Nolan 2. He will lose position to Scott Nolan 2. And we've got Noah Tara in that pack as well, as Bodie McBoatface continues to lead. As one of the darker cars in the background there, that is Thermo. Looked like he may have grazed that concrete wall in the exit of turn number 4. He's chasing down Lachlan Locke, in of course, tribute livery to, I believe, his dad. Yep, Scott Locke, yep. Livery actually suits this car quite a bit. He did take some liberties. I think the 40, going from memory, was actually gold instead of white. And we've got a car off. That's Rossi. That's Rossi. He's stuffed it again. What's he done here? So he's looked to make a move on. No, he's just lost it. Yeah, just lost it. See ya, mate. And still in P6, but only just ahead of Laszlo Teglas. But, yeah, Lachlan Locke obviously paying tribute to his old man with that livery. To see Snipes going by very, very slowly. And with the number 420, of course, that's a tribute to a certain type of weed. And he unfortunately goes for the Warriors. So, well, I guess that's probably why he's a big fan of the weed. He's just ahead of Matt Cecil, who's had an action-packed night so far. Multiple incidents on the formation lap, and well, even on the grid before the formation lap even started. And then, of course, we did see him having a bit of an incident earlier on in this race. But we're 6 laps into race number 1 here. And we've got Rossi and Noah Tara side by side. So I'm guessing Noah Tara's made a slight mistake earlier on in this lap. And Noah Tara a little bit wide there. Rossi's going to have the run. Still got yellows down there with Smith almost out of the gravel trap. As Rossi on 2 wheels. Well, it's given me flashbacks to a certain race a little while ago, and I did bring it up, and yeah, he's able to live to fight another day on this occasion. Unfortunately, on that other occasion, we did not, but still not too far away from Noah Tara. A little bit lucky Noah Tara was there to sort of give him a nudge to keep him on just the 2 wheels instead of the none. And Tim Redmond now driving away from Scott Nolan 2, who's just not having a crack out there, ahead of Christian Alvarez. But Turbo here got himself ahead of Lockie Lock. And not too far away from the Rossi Teglash battle as well. But he's also got Lockie Lock right behind him. They've been joined at the hip all race long. And look at this. We'll give you just the sensation of speed in these fine automobiles. It's got the slipstream. And Locke is going to fire it up the inside at the top of the hill here. Oh, down one gear. Made contact. Is right out sideways and is able to hold it. If in doubt, power it out in one of these front wheel drive cars. But Turmo a little bit wide at Dandy Road, and it keeps Lockie Lock right there. And of course, he will get that slipstream into turn number 1. But of course, inside of turn 1 here at Sandown, very bumpy, so it actually makes it a little bit difficult to overtake. And also doesn't help when you get a little bit sideways in the mid-corner at the final turn as well. But going to cycle through here, see if we can find anything interesting. Had Aaron Loughnane retire from this one, best up for 52. So well off the pace there. Must have had some dramas. Rhodey started from the pits in 20th. And doing some lawn mowing down there. And we've got Brian Walsh and Glenn Miles battling it out for the World Championship here. Personal best for Miles on that last lap. But Walsh goes straight up the inside and gets that position. And bragging rights. Now, is Glenn going to have a crack? And get back by Brian here. Of course, he did out-qualify him. It's at least in the moment, Brian Walsh looks a lot more comfortable, a lot more smoother. Probably has a bit more tyres left as well with the way Glenn's been driving. Of course, we don't have all that high tyre wear in these cars, just at normal. And we've got Noah Turra is out. What has happened? Internet disconnect? We do know it's a bit of... No, he's blown the engine. Sorry, let me just say that the proper way. He's blown the engine! Has Noah Turra down there, so disaster. And his old man's going to be ribbing him for that one, that's for sure. So you see Taipan and Ben Hall duking it out for 14th position. And Hall will get that after Taipan running wide. Further ahead though. And it is Locke and Turmo. There's some door banging going on. Turmo's been forced wide. Wonder if we'll see some retribution down the pits, or not the pit straight, but the back straight here. Look at them as they fly by the camera at high speed at 60 frames per second, 35 kilometers per hour. Of course, Locke will have the slipstream. A little bit of a bump, just letting him know he's there. Oh, Rowdy Burns. We've got a couple of cars off there. That's Teglash and Ross. And, oh, they haven't gone back onto the racing line, so everybody's going to live there. Although Teglash coming on in an awkward position, but Cracker will get that position without dying. And we've got something's happened to Schmeevel. He's died. That looks like... Don't tell me. Don't tell me. He has done it. He has done it. He's blown the engine! So, well, that is prime stupidity from our race leader. Had it in the bag, but wanted to just, I don't know, block downshift or just hack down the gears in what is essentially road-going cars. And it's predictably gone the way that you thought it would, with an engine expiration with a very high combustion rate. As you see Teglash, Matt Cecil, Turmo duking out in the background there. Tyre smoke everywhere. Turmo and Locke continuing their grand battle for 4th place. Of course, Rossi a little bit quicker than those guys, so he may join them in the next lap or two if he has a clean couple laps. As they go side by side down the hill towards Dandy Road. Oh, Turbo tried to leave space. We've got a car off that Snipes. He's dead. Snipes is dead. He's hit the wall hard. And knocked over the Outworld Broadcasting sign. That is a fireable offence if you were an employee. So he's just lost it. Lost the rear end. Hasn't caught it in time or powered out in time. And bang. Lucky it's only 30% damage, because in real life that left side would be gone, as we once again predictably catch Nathan Higginson all over the road. And just seeing in the comments, who's been wheel wobbling? Well, you could pretty much count 95% of the field that's been wobbling out there. Just see, speaking of wobbling, Turbo wobbling off down there at turn number 1. And Teglash also going off, as well as Greg Turra. Also seen a couple drivers wobble their engines into non-existence as well, with some adventurous down changes at Dandy Road, and probably at turn 1 as well. But here we go, Snakey's Cracker in P7 once again. Didn't qualify, but has just jumped in, kept his nose clean, and he's up 11 spots here as drama has unfolded all around him. And we've got Rossi all over the back of these two combatants in Lock and Turbo. They've made contact and ran wide. That's going to open the door for the Moustached Wonder. If he hasn't shaved, well, he has shaved it off, but I'm going to keep calling him that anyway. And he's got the run. He's going to go on the grass. Do a little bit of lawn mowing down there. As we see Teglash off on the grass. Turbo's going to go defensive immediately. Lock's going to try and go around the outside, which you can do. Ross has probably picked up a track cut for that. Cutting over that curb. And, well, they all end up in pretty much the same position there. But, once again, Ross will have the slipstream, and he might be able to box in. Well, he does sort of box in Locky Lock, but Turbo going defensive, but the overrun just too much. And right up the inside, as far left as he can go, but backs out of it, does Ross. Now, will he make the corner? He'll make the corner. Turbo just makes the corner, and they're both on the inside. Ross knows it's difficult to go around through there on the inside and pull it up. And he did pull it up, but then had contact with Locky Lock, and it's been ran into by Cracker, and then Teglash has ended up in the wall. Oh, it's all happening there. It's drama. We've got cars off everywhere. Cars off everywhere. There is drama upon drama upon drama. And a front-wheel drive specialist, Luke, aka Schmeevel. Well, he's one of those drivers that has wobbled his engine into non-existence. And after leading the race by, I believe it was about 10 seconds at the time, he's out of the race. So he's going to have to come through the field and probably get served off, as we've got Glenn Miles stuck in the gravel trap down there at Dandy Road. And Rhodey, actually, he's made his way up to P16. So he's made some spots up the last couple laps. So we have seen some retirements. And we've got Higginson off at Dandy Road as well down there. So what has happened to Higgins? Oh, he's lost it on his way into it, trying to get by Cracker, and well, that's that is some special driving. Obviously, there is a little bit of lag in that, but yeah, if I'm Cracker or Ben Hall there, or even Rossi, I wouldn't be too pleased with that one, that is for sure. Dear oh dear. But we are on the final lap. Tim Redmond, courtesy of his main competitor deciding to combust his engine, he's going to come away a 6-second winner, barring any late drama here. Does have Melody Smith in the way, but it won't cost him any time. And Tim Redmond will win race number 1. With Scott Nolan 2 amongst some lap traffic, finishing in second ahead of Christian Alvarez, who had a much better run of it this time around. And those guys, well, they're well out in front of Turmo and Locke, who've been battling each other all race long, and it's Turmo is the one that's going to come out on top in that battle. They did have Rossi for company as well for parts of that, and a couple other drivers as well. But they'll get the job done. Greg Tara will come home in P6, and somehow Matt Cecil, despite his early adventures, and well, he did wobble around a bit, has picked up P7 because all these other drivers behind him here have wobbled themselves into non-existence and into obscurity. Snipes was another one in a decent position. And Higginson's got himself a penalty, so that's going to put him right to the back. He's got Ben Hall home in 9th, Taipan in 10th. And then we have Cracker, Nathan Higginson, who's going to go all the way to the back after all the timing is said and done. So let's just have a look here and see. Yeah, that'll do it at that corner. So he's 14th for now, but that will change. Ross home in 12th place, Teglash home in 13th. He was running fairly well in the top 10, but of course involved in some incidents and some off tracks. Comes home in 13th ahead of currently Nathan Higginson in 15th as Brian Walsh comes home 14th. Rhodey is 16th on track at the moment, but that will change because of that penalty. In fact, he's coming into the pit, so he's a lap down. Will be interesting to see if the game actually does put him ahead of Higginson at the end of this. Yes, it has. No, it hasn't. My mistake. But Glenn Miles home in 17th. Coulston, DNF. Melody Smith, 3 laps down after being beached in the gravel trap down there at Dandy Road. Schmeevel McNeville, DNF. I believe I've found a piston just out my front yard out there, right behind the letterbox. I'm going to have to chuck that in the bin, so thanks for that, Schmeevel. Noel Tara, also a non-finisher, with Darren Loughnane also rounding out the field with a retirement. So that's race number 1 done and dusted, with some late drama for Nathan Higginson and a couple other sort of minor incidents. Fairly well behaved race, but also a bit disappointing we didn't see some a little bit more fireworks and competitiveness throughout the field. But hopefully as the night progresses we do see that. But race 1 done and dusted. Just going to go off to our splash screen and just take a short break to grab myself a drink and set up the grid for what is going to be a crackerjack race number 2 from Sandown International Raceway. Be there. Alright, I am back for some more exhilarating action around the incredibly low speed Copa Classics, around the high speed Sandown International Raceway, where if I just move my camera over, you guys can't see it, but I've just got to double check for my own sake. Sandown, the home of horsepower, something these cars are completely lacking, but we're racing them here anyway because there's plenty of straights for these cars to slipstream, plenty of corners for these cars to pass, and plenty of corners for these guys to roll over and cause dramas. So seen a little bit of everything, but hopefully for the lead and at the front of the pack in this one we do have a good 4 or 5 car battle pack at the dying stages. And this man here, our man Rody, just started from the pits in that last one, and predictably didn't go well from him. It's only, well, in a supercar it's about 25-26 seconds sector 1. In these cars I would imagine it would be, should look at live races to know, but it would be considerably slower than 25-26 seconds. And starting from the pits, around Sandown in these cars, you know, even 25 seconds is absolutely massive. So having, you know, given yourself a good 40 second or 35 second, 30 second disadvantage at the start, certainly not ideal, and he'll be hoping to avoid that kind of mistake in the next one, as I see some drivers practicing some starts and people ignoring the drivers briefing there at Matt Cecil, where drivers were told when they leave the pits not to just go straight to the opposite side of the racetrack, but I guess people just want to see a massive accident down there on the pit straight, even though it's a fun series, and, you know, break someone's wrist because they have DD and the other person doesn't give a stuff. And we've seen a massive rollover from Matt Cecil. I guess he's just trying to get onto the stream at this point. We might as well have a quick look at it if he's, if I can find him here. He's disappeared. He's died. Yeah, so, oh dear. Yes, it's just gone in a bit too hot and died, and, well, now he's just, well, wobbled himself into non-existence. So rest in peace, Matt Cecil down there. But of course, these long warm-up sessions giving these drivers extra time to prepare and practice for the forthcoming races. As Brendan Ross doesn't roll at the turn 2-3 chicane down there this time, but he does give that right side a nice scrub, so that if it was a certain iRacing game there'd be no paint left on the right hand side and that livery would be all mucked up. And Rossi, knowing he's on stream, flashing the light, so I might just go and give him some help. But as you can see, that's the command there for a certain type of penalty. As you see, the Tara's topping the timesheets here. So we'll ignore Rossi for now. Wink, wink. And Brendan Ross goes to P3 on a 1:34.5, and I know he's hit the wall there on the main straight. That's a disaster for Brendan Ross, and he might go to the pits or just sit on the pit straight because I don't know, he wants to be cool or something. But there we are. There's a shot of another one of those Rosella's Fruiteras where you can pick yourself up a lift, a Coca-Cola, a purple Gatorade, I think. I think it's a Gatorade. In fact, no, we'll go in a bit closer. There's another one around the back here that a lot of people didn't pick up. It was, of course, there were some Easter eggs around this circuit placed, and a lot of people actually didn't see this one. So, yeah, the one behind the old concrete stands down there, where they have put tents in the past. So this is what you can get. You can get some pixels. I think this is like a kettle of some kind. Some I don't know, it's a fridge or something. Too pixelated to know. Don't see any fruit anywhere, even though it's advertising fresh fruit. But you can get some drinks. Of course, there's Sprite, Lift, Coca-Cola, whatever the frig that is. Couldn't tell you what that is. Some water. Looks like some Powerade and Gatorades, but I'm quite disappointed because I had a version of this that might be actually in the Gold Coast, where I modified it, and there was actually some VB and some other adult beverages in there. But there's Luke giving you the big double thumbs up, and you can see him just dying inside as took that photo. As you can see, quite glad to be at work. But on to more pressing issues, and that is Rossi in the pits there trying to get some airtime, so we'll get away from that. Yeah, he's just driving there. He's going to try and mow down some crowd, have to make them solid, and give them a spring rate value so you fly into the space or something, like LFS. But got Noatara out there. He's found himself behind his old man by a tenth of a second. Both those guys, both the Toros been up and down in the race so far this season. But hopefully they've been enjoying themselves out there as Snipes goes P3 on a 33.8. Could say he's blazing away at the moment. Is Snipes in car number 420. As we see Noatara having a big crack at Dandy Road. But we'll skip to something else, because maybe something else is happening that's more entertaining than a single car going around on the circuit. And it doesn't involve Brendan Ross. But looks like I'm wrong. So yeah, Ross is just again going to do that little funny trick of his. So we'll just skip to another car. Looks like Laszlo Teglas is near another car, Darren Loughnane. So we'll keep our eye on this for the next 10 seconds, and then of course probably another minute or two before it all ticks over to the start for race number 2. And Teglash doing what Mike Coulston and I think it was Greg Turrett did in race number 1 there, just losing the rear end there at penultimate corner, or penultimate proper corner, because that kink I believe counts. And of course that ambulance was needed after the race. Now, this man on screen, after having that monumental crash coming down the hill, did require some medical assistance. I believe it was just a rollie of some kind. Not sure what was in it, but he had one of those and he was good to go. As you see Cecil trying to knock down boards and just be a general hooligan. Brendan Ross's car has turned into a portable lunchroom, as you can see here. Solid glass, as you can see. Can't see in or out. It's ideal for some people, and usually they're not the good people. And I believe that's Renato Simeone telling you you cannot drive and get good, especially if you criticize his Automobilista 2 game To which I say, if you ever do watch these broadcasts at some point, Renato, I will hold this grudge for the rest of my life. I was just trying to give you valid criticisms, and well, it wasn't even criticism at that point. It was just, look, this is what you need to fix. You didn't, and you didn't even want to acknowledge that your steering in your game was broken. So, Renato, you watch it back, get stuffed. Automobilista 2 is complete garbage. It might have some nice content, but as for a driving experience, it is always going to be Project Cars. The true successor to Project Cars 2, except maybe a little bit better. It has some better content. I don't know, but it is essentially Project Cars 3. But yeah, just remember, guys, to turn a car in real life, you have to turn it 90 degrees and no more or less than 90 degrees. Otherwise, it will either not turn or turn too much. So that's from, the genius himself. But anyway, it's ticked over to the race session. I better stop my rant towards AMS2, but I just can't help it. It's just a terrible game. It has some nice things in it that, like a fully backed 1990s, kart, instead of it being, although it is fantastic, made from a mod group. Could you imagine if Fraser Studios did that, or Bathurst, or the GT3 cars? Could you imagine all those, or the new Porsche Cup cars? Could you imagine all the old freaking Formula One styled cars and all that stuff? Could you imagine that in AMS1? It'd be fantastic. But unfortunately, we didn't see that kind of content. Instead, all we got was some fake F1 cars, some Brazilian cars, and then, yeah, we've had our fun. We're just going to put some other fake cars in, and then you modders can do all the work. But anyway, we're here. Some idiot is flashing their lights. Matt Cecil hasn't run into anybody at the moment, and Tim Redmond will start this race from pole position with the second best Scott Nolan out there, starting alongside him on the front row, with Christian Alvarez starting from third. So he'll be hoping for another clean run, albeit instead of going one position backward, he'll be hoping to go one position forward. Turbo will start in position number 4, with Lachlan Locke in P5, Greg Turra in position 6, Matt Cecil hoping not to fence it on the formation lap, but probably going to try his best anyway. He'll start from 7th, with NZ Snipes starting from 8th position ahead of Ben Hall, and Taipan with Cracker going off the road at turn 4. He'll start 11th with some slight panel damage and some dirty tyres. Brendan Ross will start from P12 ahead of Laszlo Teglas. Those guys, one would expect to work their way forward in this race, but of course, as we've seen, when you do battle cars that are a bit slower, you do find yourself losing quite a bit of time to those you normally should be running. And then we have Brian Walsh, who finished ahead of his arch nemesis, Glenn Miles, in that last race. Higginson will start from P15 after a late penalty, with Rhodey starting from the grid this time. So well done, Rhodey. Hashtag well done, Rhodey. Hashtag Rhodey welcomes us all. He'll start from P16 for PBF team Noggin Bucket ahead of Glenn Miles. Mike Coulston will start from 18th, with Melody Smith, Schmeevel McNevel, and Noah Turra and Darren Lochnan rounding out the field. And this, Lochnan still coming under the Penrite Bridge just after Dandy Road down there, and Redmond is about to form up on the grid. So quite a bit of time these leaders are going to be waiting. Actually, no, they've actually sped up a little bit, so it's not going to be too bad. But Redmond taking his time getting to his grid slot, while Nolan Doss has, he's going to, well, he moved up pretty quickly, but what is weird is that he's actually not in the row alongside him, so a bit of an AMS glitch, I think, there. Something we did see at Sydney Motorsport Park in Super 2 last year as well, so not sure what's up with that. Just another AMS thing where it knocks second place down a row. But anyway, away we go. And Redmond looks like he's got a decent start, as has Alvarez. And then after that, it's just mayhem. Looks like they're 5 wide down here at the back. And into turn 1 we come. And do they get through there safely? Oh, a bit of Biff and Barge, Rhodey and Brian Walsh. And then through 2, 3 and 4. So Snipes having a little bit of an adventure. But everyone lives to fight another day for the moment. Of course, they've gotten through the fairly simple part of the circuit. And now they're arriving at what is one of Australia's most dangerous portions of racetrack. It's the run down the hill to Dandy Road. If I can just find a goddamn decent... There we go, I found the camera. So here we go. Redmond, Alvarez, Nolan, Turmo, Tara, Greg, Locke, Matt Cecil, Hall, Taipan and Snipes round out the top 10. And we've got Locke brakes galore, Higginson sideways galore, and Glenn Miles and Noah Tara dead galore. And rest in peace, Glenn Miles. Has got Alvarez fairly close to Redmond. He'll be hoping up to pick up a bit of a tow. And edge closer. Of course, the fastest laps of these races, because of the position of the starting positions for the leaders, will mean that their first lap of the race will be their best lap. So Alvarez all kinds of sideways. Same with Nolan 2 down there at turn 1. Gap has stayed fairly consistent. And Alvarez will be hoping for a decent run out of turn 4. A little bit wide. He's brought the gap down to 0.5 of a second. He's had the clean start that he wanted, so he's in with a shout here. But we've got Greg Turra, Turmo and Lockie Lock all nuts to butts down there, with Matt Cecil and Ben Hall not too far behind him either. In fact, Alvarez there, it's actually dropped back a little bit, so I wonder if he's maybe got some brake or throttle flutter and just hasn't followed in the slipstream as they go down to Dandy Road. Bit of a lock up for Redmond. These cars in the pack, they do get blindsided sometimes. Down here. Oh, and there's Higginson's all kinds of sideways. Almost running into the back of Cracker down there. But for the most part, it looks like they've all lived. Of course, our Race 1 wannabe winner, Schmeevel McNevel, is down in 14th place. 9.3 seconds off the lead. And once again, some snakies down here in the pit straight. And the gap between first and second, 5.99 tenths of a second. And we've got Matt Cecil, Brendan Ross duking it out into turn 1. Rossi forcing a mistake and then making a mistake himself, and Ben Hall's going to get that position. And he might even have a crack at Matt Cecil. No, he decides against it, but Snipes in the background looking to make a move on Taipan. As Ben Hall makes a mistake and then loses both those positions. So, or loses position to Ross, I should say. So, yeah, just a bit too hard on the curb. And these cars, everything is momentum. And he's found that out the hard way. As we've got Lockie Lock and Turmo duking it out here. A little bit of snakies. Turmo trying to get the slipstream off the senior Tara. And, well, all those guys back there have decided to go drifting. And there goes Turmo. And there goes Brendan Ross. And there goes Matt Cecil. It's all happening. They're all gone. And, oh, I've got Rossi. Bit of contact on the exit of Dandy Road down there. So let's just... There we go. There's Brendan Ross down in 14th now. So he's managed to live, and then what's happened to him on the exit here? Crackers has driven straight into him. Could have slowed down there, Cracker, jeez. But anyway, Schmeevel in 14th now. He's lost 5 seconds on that last lap. to the leaders. Getting a little bit of a bump draft here. So we've got Cracker and Turmo. Oh, the bit of bump drafting gone wrong there, and that's a massive smash. That is a massive smash for the two black and gold cars in the field. And Turmo is going to redress that, but just getting a little bit too cute with that. I'm not sure if it was a bump draft or it was just... actually, yeah, it would have been Turmo down the straight was doing the bump draft, but it was also too close to him when they got to the braking zone. So doing exactly what Brendan Ross did last week. And oopsie daisy from Turmo there. And we've got Noah Tara is out. Noah Tara is out. What has he done? He's blown another engine. Jesus Christ. This is going to be an expensive weekend for Noah Tara. Should probably start charging for engines and make some money out of this series. As oh, look out. The spam bots are back. So better go and hide user on this channel. And of course report. But alright, we're back live, and Tim Redmond out here stretched away from Alvarez, but Alvarez not too far away, 1.4 seconds. Nolan 2, the second best Scott Nolan around. It's not too far away from Alvarez, but the front three are well out in front of Locke and Tara, who, as we cut to side by side, ahead of Ben Hall, Matt Cecil, Taipan and Snipes, with Schmeevel, McNeven not too far away either. As Taipan and Snipes there duking it out here for 8th place. And a little bit wide there for Taipan. It's going to get a poor run. And Snipes needs no invitation to take that position away. But they're going to have a drag down the straight. There is a bit of a slipstream in these cars, I'm hearing, particularly down the back straight. We did see a little bit of that in race number 1, but they're just too far away from Cecil for it to make a difference. All that's going to make a difference is who can pull it up here at the top of the hill at turn 6. And they both make it through the first part of it. And do they pull it up for Danny Road? Snipes a little bit sideways, but he gets through. He's had a poor exit though, he's wide. Taipan is close enough to make a move. He's forcing Snipes to go defensive, and this is allowing Schmeevel, McNevel to close in. Taipan doing all he can to get by. And Schmeevel, McNevel, he's had a great run out of the final corner in comparison to Taipan. 33.0 is the best lap for Schmeevel, McNevel, looking to make a move here into turn 1 and to get himself into 9th place. Not quite close enough or confident enough into turn 1 to do it. Snipes in front, very, very wide. Schmeevel has a look at turn 2, backs out of it, looking to set up a move possibly before, but probably down the back straight at 5 or 6. But here we go, Greg Tara, Ben Hall. A little bit of bump drafting going on. Those guys looking to catch up to Lockie Locke. Front three pretty much gone, so they're just hoping those guys in front have some issues. Was Matt Cecil a bit sideways there? Got Matt. Oh, and he's got himself a penalty. And a bit of track extending going on down there. Tried to get himself back onto the track, but done that one too many times. And RIP Matt Cecil's chances of a top 10. So see you later. And Schmeevel now, it's got by Taipan. And sets his sights on NZ Snipes. Oop, we've actually got Greg Tara just down the road, further down the road, wasn't on the road, as same goes for Snipes at turn 1, is boulder wide. Just like Daryl Tuffy in a one-dayer against Australia. And Schmeevel was wide as well, but he was able to manage to get himself back onto the tarmac. So another position for Schmeevel, but of course, big question mark over if he can make his engine last. Did see a number of drivers blow some engines in race 1, as we've got Hall and Locke side by side at turn 6. Side by side down Dandy Road, and they've lived, and there's no major contact. I'm gobsmacked that that's actually happened. That they've not lost it, they've not ran into each other after being so close for that entire portion. So well done to both those drivers. I'm sure on the next lap they're going to stuff that up and probably have both cars rolled over. But on this particular lap, well done. But Redmond looks like he's going to wrap this race up 3 seconds ahead of Nolan 2 now. So Nolan 2 in position 2 ahead of Alvarez in 3rd. And Hall all kinds of sideways at turn 1, and then Lockie Lock wanting to outdrift him, also doing the same thing, but a little bit more sideways and out of control. Allowed Greg Turra to close in just a little bit. And again, all kinds of sideways for Lockie Lock. Someone should tell him that it's a race, not a drift session. And you go faster if your car is straight, but who's for me to tell someone how to drive their pixelated automobile? Especially someone like me who isn't even a well, I'm just a has-been at this point. If I was paid, I would be a professional wobbler. As we've got Melody Smith off down there, and it's good to see, waiting for a nice spot to get yourself back onto the circuit. But back to Roadie Watch here, and he's up 3 spots. He's in 14th ahead of Laszlo Teglash. He's not too far away from Termo and Nathan Higginson. So some bragging rights on here for the junior admins. If Roadie can just find a little bit of speed to get himself up on 2 wheels. And I'm not sure what happened with Teglash there. Maybe a little bit of game lag or something is why I decided to go on the grass. But just a weird one there. But oh dear, Matt Cecil's got himself another penalty for corner extending, I'm guessing. But big question mark: can Roadie catch up to Higginson, who's just got by Termo for P12? It's all happening down here at the Springvale Motorsport Precinct. And of course got this nice battle pack here for 8th place, headed by Snipes, with Taipan in 9th and Brendan Ross in 10th. He's been on a few adventures already this evening. Schmeevel, McNevel, question mark around him. Can he make his engine last? And also, if he can make it last, where will he end up? But we've got Taipan around. Taipan has been, well, might have bitten his tail there with that one. What's he done? Oh, he's done what many other drivers have done. Just got off the throttle a little bit at the wrong moment in these front-wheel drive cars. And he's given Ryko some good advertisement there. And, oh, that's a bit of a... Oh, is that force Higginson and Termo to check up there? That's exactly what we wanted in our junior admin battle. But he could have caused an accident, but we would have preferred that he just blocked Higginson a little bit more there to bring Roadie into play. And we've got yellows down here, and that's Ben Hall. What has happened to Ben Hall down here? Has he rolled it? No, he's just lost it on the curb coming into turn 4. Dear, oh dear. And we've got Ross and Snipes side by side. The two Unos. Uno. And who will come out on top? It will be Brendan Ross. As Snipes goes to collect some more grass at the top of the hill. And he'll be using that at the back of the paddock a little bit later on. But we've also got Schmeevel is caught up to the back of Tara and Alvarez. Got yellows down here in Sector 3. And that is Matt Cecil in the gravel trap. Beached Ez. Someone get him a chip. As Lucky Lock gets the good run out of the final corner. And still going to have to drag Greg Tara. Tara going to have the inside for turn 1. Also seen Alvarez drop off the back of Nolan, so he's made a mistake somewhere. As these two red machines go side by side into turn 1. Advantage Tara, but put some licorice straps down there in the braking zone, which is not ideal. And has actually had a poor exit out of 1. Another lock up into 2. Lock's going to try and do the old swisheroo. Up the inside at 4. Bit of door banging. Gets the job done. But again, this is exactly what McNeil wanted. He's got the best run out of all of them. And will number 40 close the door? No, he just leaves it open. What is he doing? What is he doing? Lucky Lock could have closed that avenue off and, well, McNeil would have had to have gotten out of it. But instead he left the door open and now it's advantage McNeil. And side by side with Tara at turn 6, maybe a little bit of light contact on the way in, but they've lived through it so far. Got Rossi behind, he could cause some havoc as well. And, oh, they're all wide, a little bit of contact. McNeil is off and he's doing some lawn mowing down there. Now Ross, he's going to take advantage of that one. He's going to try and go around the outside of Lock here into the penultimate corner. And he's got the job done. He'll have the inside for the final corner. But, of course, these guys aren't going to get the greatest of runs fighting with each other. And we're going to have McNeil jump straight into this battle as well. And, of course, Snaky's also being a part of it. But Redmond 2.7 seconds ahead of Nolan 2. Alvarez 7.3 off the lead, but all eyes are on this battle for 4th place. Currently being headed by Greg Tara. And who knows where or who will end up in that coveted 4th spot. This is the one you want to finish 4th in. This is the big one. This is race 2 of round 2 of the Summer Series. No one remembers who finished 1st, 2nd or 3rd in this one. It's all about who finished 4th. This is the one they want. And currently Greg Tara is in that position with a lap and a sector to go. And it's had a nice run coming down the hill. He's just got to pull it up now. Bit of a lock up. And he's a little bit wide, but not too wide. But speaking of wide, Lucky Lock is very wide. And that's dropped him pretty much out of that battle pack. Schmeevel, McNeil and Brendan Ross duking it out at the penultimate corner. And McNeil coming out on top there. He's got a decent run out of the final corner. And we have seen that he does like playing the old slipstream game. 1 lap to go. There's the white flag. Got Matt Cecil out there smoking after spending about 4 laps in the gravel trap. But again, just a quick look through the leaders. And Alvarez now in 2nd place with Nolan in 3rd. So try and find a quick little replay there, because we did see him just a lap ago. And Dandy Road claims another victim. But we'll skip that. We'll go live. Greg Tara, 4th place, ahead of Schmeevel and Ross. And Ross almost having a bit of a incident down there at turn 3. As speaking of incidents, we've got Snipes and Hall duking it out for 8th place. The World Championship 4. And Snipes, he's got the run. A little bit of a bump. Lets him know, lets Hall know that he's there. And a little bit further down, the crowd is cheering. They're letting off their air horns. Not for the leaders, not for Redmond, not for Alvarez or Nolan. It's Tara and McNeil, the 2 South Australians. They do not like each other. And can Tara pull it up? He's a little bit wide, a little bit of a lock-up. And he's going to have to go defensive. Tim Redmond is going to win. Alvarez is going to finish second with Nolan in third. But who cares about that? Because it's all about fourth place. And McNeil's going to try and go around the outside. He'll have the inside for the final corner. Tara tried to do the switch, but I think ran into the back of Rosella slash... Well, actually, no. It's just going to be Rosella slash McNeil there in the end. And once again, on the last lap, Higginson gets himself a drive-through penalty for too many track cuts. But what a battle for fourth place. And Schmeevel McNeil wins the battle. And everybody will remember that. No one will remember first, second, or third. But disaster and shame for Greg Turner. Couldn't quite hold on there. Ross tried everything he could, but just couldn't quite get the job done. He'll come home in 6th ahead of Lockie Lock. Ben Hall in 8th. NZ Snipes in 9th. And Cracker home in 10th place. Taipan home in 11th with Termo in 12th. Bit of a disaster run after that off he had in 12th ahead of Teglas. He couldn't make his way through the field as much as he would have wanted. And Rhodey home in 14th. Darren Loughnane home in 15th. Mike Coulston in 16th with Walsh in 17th. Miles in 18th. Melody Smith home in 19th. And with that drive-through penalty, Nathan Higginson loses out in the battle for the junior admins. And Rhodey will claim victory in that Titanic scrap by default, as we've got a barbecue down there for Ryan Walsh. So that is all drivers done and dusted now. And we'll just take a short break. Of course, got to set the grid and get everything ready for race number 3. But we'll be back with some more fantastic action and the battle for 4th place. Don't go anywhere. right. And
I guess I decided to
welcome
speak out.
back to the apologies for any issues with the stream. But yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. I did see on my screen there that the stream was having a little bit of some issues there, so hopefully it's not an ongoing thing. But we're back here from the MCG, where Australia are 2 for 2022. The English having a tough old time in the field. And Glenn McGrath has opened the batting and put on a clinic. He's on 1 out there after facing 95 deliveries, and his partner at the other end, Ricky Ponting, he's on 1,050. And seeing there that someone is loading macros in the server. Well, that may not end well for them. Can't have any of those kinds of cheats. That has to be said. We do not condone that kind of behaviour. And as such, the driver in question will be booted. Alright, we will be waiting once old mate comes back into the server after being kicked, without his macros hopefully, and then we'll get this all underway. It's nice to see the drivers answering my simple questions out there, asking if I would like to move it forward. Ask a question, get five people replying, and then wonder why you just sit there, because you don't want to skip ahead and have people miss out because it was skipped ahead without them being there. So those that are watching, I know there's many of you that are watching this on your second monitor. Alright, looks like we've got more people. Alright, we have entered the sync zone with your host, Richard Petty. And capacity crowd here at Sandown International Racecourse for the second round of the the Australasian Sim Racing Summer Series, where I am not taking this seriously at all. And old mate thinks he's top shit. This person, I don't want to get banned from YouTube if I say it. This person's celebrating for what I do not know, but turning down for what. And then we've got this fella, the big unit. The big unit with some silver teeth. And yeah, they're stoked to see the main event. Even though there's Enduro Cup stuff everywhere, don't worry about that. It's all about these pixelated motor vehicles. And here we go. Let's run through the grid. We've got Tim Redmond. We've got Alvarez. Scott Nolan 2. That Luke fella. Greg Turra. Lockie Lock. Brendan Ross. NZ Snipes. Ben Hall. Taipan. And then we've got a heap of other cars. They're all off in a mess. It was a good idea in my head, but they all went too quickly, and I don't have the timing next to me. But that I did get up to Ben Hall and NZ Snipes there, 8th and 9th. Cracker will start 10th with Taipan. He'll be hoping for a little bit more bite and fang in this one. He'll start from 11th place with Turmo hoping not to run up the back of Cracker in this one. He'll start 12th ahead of Laszlo Teglas with... Road. He's done it again. I'll forgive him for this one because we did restart it early. So he may not have been at his PC when we ticked it over. So I will forgive him for this one. But the first race one, no, that wasn't skipped ahead. Darren Lachlan, he'll start from position number 15 with Mike Coulston out of the desert and into the chilly winter of the United Kingdom. He'll start from 16th ahead of Brian Walsh. And I might just hand Matt Cecil a drive-through penalty for acting like a bit of a noggin on this, or broken noggin on this kind of formation up here. Miles will start in 18th ahead of Melody Smith. Nathan Higginson will start in 20th after once again cutting the track too many times. So will he make it a hat trick? 3 from 3. That is the big one here. It's the big question. Who cares if who wins the race or if it's the greatest race of all time? Because will Higginson get 3 in a row? And Rody in the chat not happy. Obviously having some wheel issues. Not sure what those issues are. Perhaps he needs to map a reset force feedback button to fix it. And once again the grid is playing funny buggers. May need to restart the weekend. Not the weekend, but the server entirely to sort it out, but not doing it now. Seems to always happen on these restarted weekend moments. Just waiting for someone to form up on the grid properly. That's Matt Cecil again. Well, I'd have to start handing out penalties. I know it's meant to be a casual fun series for people stuff around the formation lap. I don't mind the hard racing, but come on, man. We just want to get this shit started. And away we go. And looks like a decent jump there for Scott Nolan too. As the cars, well, casually stroll by us. And big dive up the inside from Schmeevel on Tara and Alvarez. And immediately into third place. And a bit of contact, then around goes Alvarez, and more contact. That's actually spun him back around again. So he won't have to do a reverse doughy. So he won't lose as much time. But we'll cut to a replay there to see what happened. So he just ran up the back of Greg Turra there, who was a little bit slow on the way into the corner, and it just caught him out. So unfortunate for Christian. In real life, that'll probably be just a little bit of front end damage. But being a sim, they can do some funny things. As Redmond leads the field away ahead of Scott Nolan too. The second best Scott Nolan around. As the cars bounce their way down the hill towards Dandy Nong Road. Will they all pull it up? We've already got Brian Walsh and Glenn Miles both off the circuit on the inside and outside of 6. And Mike Coulson on the grass. And Brian Walsh going very, very slowly. But big battle now for second, and a little bit further back we've got Taipan, bit of contact with NZ Snipes here, with Ben Hall keeping a watchful eye, and he might get them both here. After Snipes was forced to run wide, and Taipan, well, he just kept his foot flat even though he was heading for the grass. And now a little bit of bump drafting before Hall pulls out of the slipstream and then brakes early. So he's not having a crack down there in turn 1. And at least for now, they all live to fight another day, although Taipan having a half-hearted dive at turn 2, having another look at turn 4 up on the curb, may compromise his exit a little bit. Looks like it. Well, it's not too bad of an exit, but Turmo with that slipstream may find himself in a pretty handy position. Especially with the 2 cars in front of him duking it out here. But here we go, down the hill. Will they all live is the question. Wait our way through, and no, there goes Dan Loughnane, just a little bit too close to the car in front, caught out, a little bit of contact, and then speared into the fence on the right hand side. Unseen by the cameras, Scott Nolan too has been overtaken by Schmeevel McNevel. And Greg Turra having a look at Scott Nolan number 2. At the moment, he's laying a number 2, it has to be said. It's not quite good enough. Just a little bit too gooey, too much liquid. There's a little bit further back. They've got Turmo and Cracker once again at it, the 2 black and gold cars. And a little bit of biff and barge with Taipan there as well, trying to sort of bump his way in. And on the exit of 4, got Ben Hall giving him a little bit of a hurry up as well. Just leaning on him just a little bit. So very willing here. And Cracker, a little bit of an overlap. No. Needs a little bit of a help of the slipstream. He's going to have a second dig here at the top of the hill. And Turmo and Cracker side by side. We've got yellows down there. Who's beached? It is... Oh no, it's Rhodey. And a bit of contact there. And Turmo's wide. Almost ran into Rhodey down there. Would have helped him get out of the gravel trap. So Rhodey be a bit pissed with that. So screw you, Turmo. You could have helped the brother out. You've not done it. But Cracker now into P7. And now Turmo. He's got cars all over the back of him. He's got to watch himself here, because he could find himself in a Christian Alvarez type situation where, well, we've all seen the meme of the 4 or 5 black guys and the white girl sitting on the couch. That's what Turmo looks like he might be getting himself into at the moment here. He's got a car on the inside, a car on the outside, and a car hitting him up the back, so it has turned out that way. And there's cars all over the place here. Higginson moving all over the road. You got Noah Turra there. You got Ben Hall just firing it down there. And side by side through 4 is going to open the door for Higginson. And Turmo flashing the lights. He's not happy. But this is motor racing, son. Get over it and get back on it. And we got Noah Tara now making a move as well. He's going to get blocked off by Turmo. So Noah Tara had the best run of all of them. And he's had to back out of it. The 2-3 wide, better bumping down the back straight here. Rody's got himself a penalty, and there's contact between Turmo and, well, all of them. They're all wide. And Laszlo Teglas in the back. He's lost the rear end, and so's Turmo. That's, I guess, karma for Turmo for the last race, although he did redress after that. And is he going to try and reverse out or go forward? No, he's going to do the smart thing and actually reverse out because it's a lot closer to him. As you see, Coulston and Loughlin battle it out. But disaster for Turmo. And Merry Christmas Cracker. Bit of a belated one. But at the front, Schmeevel McNevel, he's found his way back towards the front of the field after deciding to expire his engine in race number 1. He's had to fight his way through the field. And now finds himself second off Tim Redmond. So expect these two featherweights to go at it. And because it's, well, featherweights, they're not strong enough to knock each other out. So it's going to be a rather dull fight between these two at the front. So we'll focus on the stuff towards the back of the field. Well, not the back of the field, but in the midfield here. And position 7. A little bit of a gap for Cracker to Hall. But behind Hall, though, you've got 3 angry cars looking to get by. Albeit, Nathan Higginson will find himself with a penalty for too many track cuts. It's pretty much a given at this stage, considering he's done it in every race so far. And running wide like that's not going to help his chances of getting by Taipan. That said, Taipan also had a shocking run. And, well, further ahead, we've got Ben Hall looking to make a move on Cracker. So Cracker didn't have an ideal run. And again, hasn't had the most ideal run off the final corner. So this group of cars, once again, all starting to compact back together. All doing a 33.7, his personal best. Much quicker than Cracker with a 35.1 on that previous lap. Side by side into one. Higginson going defensive. Noah Tara looking to make the move. Will Hall pull it up? Yes, he will. Will Noah Tara pull it up? Yes, he will. Higginson's going to go a little bit wide, but keeps it on the asphalt at least. And NZ Snipes having a ding-dong battle here with Matt Cecil, who's hit everything but an apex tonight. And, oh, this time, will he? No, he's not hit that ideal apex, that's for sure. But currently P13 ahead of Laszlo Teglas, who started the night off okay, but has just drifted back as the night's progressed so far. And they're going to go side by side to turn 6. And Cecil here just trying to resist the urge to knock over the cones and brake and advertisement hoardings he's done all night. Outbroke himself though a little bit at Dandenong Road, and Teglas looking to get that switch back on, but he's not quite close enough, as we did see Taipan there with a drive-through penalty for what can only be assumed as track cuts. And, well, yep, can't do that. See you later, mate. Got 13 laps to not do it 4 times. So then there were 3. Noah Tara, Cracker, Nathan Higginson. Ben Hall's just driven away from that group and then done some lawn mowing. Also got a battle for the lead now. So this is it. 2 Unos, 2 shit boxes, and a lot of snake down the straights. And Redmond all kinds of sideways. Smeevil having to avoid, and Redmond is around. Is he over? He's not over, but Nolan's got nowhere to go. As well, Redmond did not hold the brake. Rossi's got nowhere to go, and Greg Turner gets 3 positions for the price of none. And, well, Nolan there, Nolan 2, the big loser. He'll be a little bit annoyed that Redmond couldn't carry a little bit of brake percentage there. And Rossi picking up some damage there as well. He had nowhere to go at that stage. And Greg Turner now into second place. Smeevil McNeevil, well, that's pretty much the race win in the bag. No such thing as commentator curses. So, yeah, he's got this one done and dusted now. He won't blow an engine or roll it or have lap traffic wipe him out. So, don't need to look at him for the rest of the race. But would expect Tim Redmond to battle hard with Brendan Ross and maybe even catch Greg Turner at the back of this one. Is that what I think it was? Was that Rossi on 2 wheels at turn 2 and 3? It was. And again, that's giving me flashbacks. And I really wish Rossi wouldn't do that, particularly that part of the track. Lockie Lock been a fairly consistent performer tonight, running in P5 now after Nolan 2's misfortune. Got Rossi and Redmond side by side into 6 now down the hill. Oh, and Rossi locked the rears a little bit coming down the hill. It's just squirming away from him, and he had to do a bit of wheel wobbling to hold on to it. Lives for now, but Redmond all over the back of him. It's allowing Lock to get by. Redmond trying the outside. Rossi knows about that trick. He's done it himself, and he's seen some others do it in front of him. Perfectly aware of it and blocked it off perfectly and straight to the inside on the pit straight. This is good, hard racing, and it's allowed Lockie Lock into play faster than both those cars in front of him. 34.7 for Redmond, 35.0 for Ross, and a personal best of 33.9. At least personal best in this race for Lockie Lock for him. Once again, up the inside goes Redmond. So Ross did try and get a little bit more width on his way into the corner. It may have cost him a little bit here. Redmond going to try the outside at 2. Now the switchback at 4. No, Ross has got the good run out of turn 3. And a little bit of a block done at the mid-corner. Some smart driving from Ross there. That's going to kill a little bit of Tim Redmond's momentum. And it will bring Lockie Lock into play. So, not to toot my own horn, but Brendan Ross there just must have read my book on defensive driving. In these situations, it's not always about just moving to the inside or middle of the track. Sometimes you just got to balk them beforehand and prevent them from getting that good run, which he's done there. But a poor run through Dandy Road. He's going to invite Redmond back for more here. Did hear a car in the pits there. May have been Taipan serving his penalty. Around the outside, and Redmond goes, and he's got the job done now. So a little bit too defensive for Rossi, but he will have the slipstream. But he does have Lockie Lock right behind him, and Alvarez now, he's picked up a drive-through penalty, and he was the car that was going through the pits as well, so disaster. So this race goes from bad to worse for Alvarez, as it does for Rhodey, picking up another penalty after starting from the pits due to some Logitech issues. But Rossi and Redmond continue to battle. Rossi goes around the outside at turn 1, and well, these guys battling hard out there. And Ben Hall is starting to edge his way a little bit closer. As once again, Rossi giving me a heart attack, as does Cracker there, almost rolling it at turn 2. So the battle of the junior admins in this one will go to Nathan Higginson after a horror run for Rhodey. And now I've got Ben Hall and Lockie Lock, the two teammates in the Supercars and Super 2 championships, I believe. Both going at it hard here. And at the moment, advantage Lock. But for how long? is the big question, as Rossi turning his front left tyre into a 50-cent piece with that elongated lockup, and quite unhappy with the traffic in front of him, but just got to deal with it, young Rossi. Just got to deal with it. Has cost him a little bit of time. Didn't really balk him all that much though. Still a 33.8. And overall put time on Redmond. Behind though, Hall and Locke side by side into turn one. A little bit further back, Noah Turra and Higginson playing some funny buggers as well. A little bit of contact between Hall and Locke maybe there on the way into turn one, but they both live to fight another day. Just a light scrape. Either that or my eyes have deceived me. I am pretty tired at the moment. But Redmond and Rossi continuing to go at it. We've got two battles about 70, 80 metres apart here. And they're going at tremendous velocity at, I don't know, about 120 kilometres an hour down the back straight here. Right on board, Brendan Ross. And as we can, if we could just imagine just a little bit further forward in this view and just turn around and look at the helmet, it would be steely eyes of determination from a young Brendan Ross. And again, the old block at the apex has worked wonders for Brendan Ross. Redmond looking to get the switchback done, but he was too close and Rossi too smart, parked it there, and he lives to fight for another couple corners. And here comes Ben Hall now. He's going over every curb and crevice around these apexes at Sandown, and he's right behind Tim Redmond with Lockie Locke not too far away either. Once again, Redmond having a look up the inside of Brendan Ross. They both go to the inside and then to the outside, and Rossi goes wide this time. Redmond has the run. He'll get the position for now, but we still have a lap and a bit to go. Very reminiscent of a Formula V race here. A little bit of contact between a number of the cars down there as Hall looks up the inside of Ross, and it's going to stunt his momentum. Speaking of momentum, Redmond has lost all of his after running very wide on the exit of 4, and what was 2 by 2 is now, well, it's just 5 cars all grouped together with 3 of them pretty much all joined together, with Scott Nolan 2, Lockie Locke and Ben Hall all very close together, as once again Ross and Redmond sideways as they go over the crest at 6. Got yellows down there. It's Greg Turra. And we've got another car off. That's Scott Nolan too. He's died. Get the ambulance. That's a big hit. He's come straight back onto the track in front of Cracker. But it hasn't balked him at all. We still have just over a lap to go. And maybe a puncture there for Turra there. Big lockup. No, looks okay. He's able to get through that final corner. A-okay. So it might be a battle for second here. White flag is out, as we've got our customary spam bot in the chat. And Rossi's still holding on for now. And once again, Turra a little bit wide. Ben Hall's been able to claw back that time. This is it. Last chance saloon for these fellas. Coming into turn number 6. A little bit of gamesmanship down there. And Rossi leads them for now with a couple corners to go. It's all about pulling it up here at Dandenong Road. Rossi trying his best, doesn't quite hit the apex probably as well as he would have wanted, but he's actually come out of it all right. Come out of it very well, in fact. He's put time on Redmond behind. Schmeevel McNevel wins, but we don't give a shit about that. It's all about the battle for second and third. Tara will just hold on after a late drama, and Rossi will finish third ahead of Redmond after his error earlier on in the race. With Ben Hall home in 5th place, Lockie Lock home in 6th, just ahead of Scott Nolan too. And so got a bit of a bingle back there. Cracker home in 8th place, Noah Tara in 9th, with NZ Snipes just ahead of Nathan Higginson and Laszlo Teglas. Looks like they had a fantastic battle. I do apologise for not picking it up, so those guys will be a bit pissed off when they go and watch this back later. But too bad, those other guys are having a better battle, so you guys are just going to have to hashtag deal with it. Matt Cecil home, the warm-up lap pest, home in 13th place ahead of a 14th place Darren Loughnane. With Taipan home in 15th, of course he did have a drive-through penalty. Melody Smith home in 16th. Brian Walsh about to be home in 17th, barring some kind of catastrophic problem. Glenn Miles in 18th and Mike Coulston right behind them in 19th. So Mike just struggling a little bit in that one. His fastest lap was good, 1.3 seconds faster than those guys. So must have had some dramas there that we did not see or pick up. Turmo will come home in 20th after some dramas in that one. Christian Alvarez a lap down in 21st. He did have at least one drive-through penalty, with Rody picking up a couple drive-throughs with, of course, that pit lane start due to some Logitech problems. So, pretty action-packed. I'll skip to... Well, I won't watch that Smearville McNeeville fella do his... Well, he can't even do reverse doze right, so we won't watch it anyway. But, yeah, we'll just have a look at the pit lane. And the Outworld Broadcasting booth here. DJ BJ in there playing some tunes that we can't play because it's all copyrighted. And there's Renato Simeone, still deluded on how great AMS2 is in his eyes. But yeah, this is not an AMS2 fanboy zone, so you're going to get some criticism, champ. But yeah, that's race number 3, if my memory serves me correctly. I'm very tired, so give me a break. So yeah, race 3 done and dusted. We've got one more to go, and hopefully this fella comes out and just wipes the field. We would love to see Burn Mylander get out there and just win the race from start to finish with an average speed of 80 kilometers per hour. That would be the ultimate meme, having these guys get beaten by the safety car. But anyway, we're going to take a break. Got to sort the grid out for race number 4, and then I can get out of here and get some sleep. So anyway, have a good short break here. Grab yourself a drink maybe, and we'll see you in a few minutes time for the final race of the evening. See you then. yeah, just some apologies for both the drivers and so those watching along. Just had a game crash, so thankfully I actually restarted the warm-up just prior to the crash. I did restart the warm-up because there was some moron that wasn't in the server that I will name, Shmeevel McNevel. They weren't in the server, so restarted because I wasn't sure if they're coming back or not. So I will be back in the server in a minute, so just bear with us here for these unfortunate delays, but we'll be back in to see some fantastic pixel racing in a moment. In the meantime, if you could just imagine all the people that dislike the Imagine song by John Lennon, yeah, that'd be great. But anyway, just have a quiet. I'll just mute myself for a moment, but we will be back in the server with some racing. The final race of the night coming up soon. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back to the 2022 Super Bowl, where the Green Bay Packers have defeated the New York Jets 900-5. And then a motor car race took place. All right, we've set up the grid, and we're going. We're ticking over. We're ticking over. Alright, here we go. The button's been pressed. We've gone from the warm-up to the race. And this is it. This is the biggest race of these drivers' lives. It's race 4 of round 2 of the 2022 ASR Summer Series. And it's gonna be a classic. There's gonna be wrecks, there's gonna be overtakes. And there's hopefully going to be Shmeevel McNevel in one of the lakes. That would be fantastic. Would also like to see different winner. We've had Shmeevel and of course Tim win tonight. So if we could get a third one out, that'd be fantastic. So yeah, if somebody could come through the field, not looking at anyone in particular, Rhodey, if you could just come through and just not have any kind of Fanatec issue and just win the race, it'd be fantastic. I think everybody could get around that, but 29 seconds to the grid, and now we play the waiting game to see which one of these 22 championship combatants will emerge victorious and who will emerge in the back of a hearse. And well, at this stage it looks like everybody's formed up on the right side, on the front row of the grid at least, but And Hall very late onto the grid. And has Brody made it onto the grid? We've had a car disappear and come back. It's Lucky Lock. And Rody is moving. Rody is moving. Is he turning? It's very laggy there, but not sure if he's turned yet. His accelerator and brake works. If you're listening along, Rody, you should just hook a hard right at turn 1. You wouldn't do it. But he has turned, and that's important. So he's on his way to a good race. Is Rody 100% guaranteed going to have a good race? As we've got McNevel starting from pole, and he's going full speed here in the formation lap. He wants to get this race over and done with. And then we have Greg Tara starting alongside him on the front row. Brendan Ross will start from 3rd position on the grid. He's so high, he's got a nosebleed. And then we have Tim Redmond in 4th place ahead of Benjamin Hall for Luke McHugh Racing. In P6, we've got Lucky Lock. And you can lock down a top 6 finish for him. Ahead of Scott Nolan too, who is sure to put on a show, get himself into 2nd or 3rd position, and then make a mistake and have to fight his way back to finish P5. Cracker will start in 8th place ahead of Noah Tara. We've got NZ Snipes. High as a kite in 10th place. We've got Nathan Higginson. He's more bent than some bars in San Francisco, that's for sure. And then we've got Laszlo Teglas in 12th place. And what I mean by bent with Nathan Higginson, I just mean sideways. He is not straight. Every corner, he's not straight, that's for sure. And we've got Matt Cecil in 13th, Darren Lockman in 14th, Taipan. He's won the lottery for 15th, and Matt Cecil is going to get a drive-through penalty for once again stuffing up the formation lap here. Melody Smith in 16th. Brian Walsh in 17th. Glenn Miles will start in 18th place ahead of Mike Coulston. And then we have Turmo in P20 with Christian Alvarez and Rody rounding out the field. Alright, some drivers trying to game the system by putting an angle on. We've got some drivers trying to cheat the system by disappearing. Not looking at anyone in particular, Lucky Lock, but away we go. And who gets the best jump? I'll tell you in 30 seconds when they eventually get to T1. But at the moment, it's Rosella / McNevel on the inside. Greg Tara going to try and go around the outside. He's not going to make it work, but we've got a big one. We've got a big one. There's a rollover. Mike Coulston has rolled, and he is dead in the gravel trap at turn 1. He's been murdered. And we got Turmo stuck down there as well. What happened to these two? So, Mike's just outbrake himself, and then he's been collected by Rody, who had nowhere to go. And now these guys are going to have to spend 20 minutes in the gravel trap because of the way these cars are done, and somehow they get beached so easily. But here we go. This is what we want. Cars side by side on the first lap. Coming into turn 6 and down the hill towards Dandy Road. Tara is sideways. And we've got cars all over the place. Schmevel back into the lead. Redmond trying to get by Rossi. We've got Lochnan and Melody Smith side by side. We've also got Christian Alvarez all over the road as well. Probably due to a little bit of lag. And again, still more racing up and down the field on this opening lap. Can they sustain it? As we see Ben Hall wide. And Lucky Lock looking to make a move. And Turmo and Mike Coulston have gotten away, which is good to see. But they need a minor miracle in this one. And they might get it a little bit later on. We've got contact between the two leaders. They're off. They're off, and Schmevel is tried to gas it through. Well, he has gassed it through the gravel trap, and he'll live to fight another day after unfortunate contact with Greg Tara. Opens the door. Will we see another winner? As we got Noah Tara on 2 wheels, and we've got Laszlo Teglas and Taipan duking out with Matt Cecil right in front of them. And then we've got door banging. Oh, Speaking of door banging, that's Taipan and Matt Cecil down there at turn 4. This race has gone off. It's gone off faster than milk left in the sun. And now we've got Higginson and Cracker jerking it out. We've also got Redmond and Rossi battling it out again. A string of cars out there at the moment. Bit of bump drifting going wrong with Cecil into the back of Teglas. Taipan looking to take advantage. Teglas is going to run a bit wide there, coming down the hill. Speaking of wide, I don't think Miles made that corner. And looks like may have been Teglas wide there at Dandy Road, but he's not lost out too much. And in fact, looks like Matt Cecil's the bigger loser out of that. Lost a little bit of momentum, and now Taipan's got to keep an eye on his mirrors, as he's got McNevel right behind him, as does Matt Cecil. Good run from McNevel. He's got the best run out of both of them, and Taipan just bungles Cecil out of the way, and Schmeevel's going to go, thank you very much, I'll take that. And now it's a little bit of a drag between Taipan and McNevel. And shades of Mansell and Prost at Barcelona in, I think it was 1991, if memory serves me correct. Very, very close to each other there down the pit straight. Also got battles further ahead. We've got Cracker and Teglas having a great little battle for 9th place. But got a massive battle here. Scott Nolan too is in the lead. Brendan Ross is down to 5th. So what has happened here? Ross has just made a mistake. Too fast through the chicane. Now down to 5th, but he's got the run on Ben Hall. Ben Hall, bit of slipstream, and then moves very, very late to go defensive. Tell you what, this is NASCAR. He'd be in the fence for a move like that. Very, very late defensive driving. But speaking of late, he's very late on the brakes. Ross is going to have... Well, he's gassed it up quite a bit there, but he does have a decent run coming out of Dandenong Road. He's going to try the outside. We've seen him pull it off a couple times already, and he's done so once again. He's just got to make sure he makes that final corner. He's been escorted wide just a little bit there, maybe a slight little nudge from Hall. He's got himself ahead for now, and hoping just that little bit of slipstream from Lucky Lock in front is able to just keep him ahead of Ben Hall. Looks like it might for now. Redmond and Scott Nolan too battling for the lead here on lap 4. Both of them a little bit wide. Speaking of wide, there's Lucky Lock. He's wider than me after Christmas. Down there at turn number 1. But didn't lose a position out of all that. And Rossi looking to capitalise on it, but he's not really made up too much time. But at least in this one so far, field has actually stayed fairly close together. With a nice string of cars really from 3rd place all the way to 8th, which is occupied by Nathan Higginson, at least temporarily until he gets himself a track cut penalty later on in the race. And a little bit further back, got another big battle pack headed by Schmeevel, McNevel, Laszlo Teglas and Cracker, with Greg Turra in amongst it as well. Matt Cecil also there. He's got about a second and a half to Alvarez and Taipan. And then further back, we've got Rhodey heading a pack of himself, Melody Smith, Darren Loughnane and Glenn Miles down there. Here's Mike Coulson ahead of Turmo. Got a battle for the lead here though. It's Nolan 2 versus Redmond. 1/10 of a second across the line. Nolan deep under brakes, and Rhodey's got himself a drive-through penalty. That is a shame. As our two leaders duke it out. Nolan 2 climbing all over the curbs while Lucky Lock is bouncing all over the curbs. Rossi going to try and go around the outside of turn 4. Should get the better run. Does get the better run. And he finds himself now in 3rd place. And Noah Turra is recovering. He's got a great run. It's like a very poor run from Lucky Lock out of turn 4. And he's going to lose 2 positions here. Yep, there it is. I would have thought those light little shit boxes are so handy in a straight line. I guess that line of car helps as Higginson all kinds of sideways coming down the hill. Is he going to be able to pull it up? Well, I wouldn't say pulled it up, more so slid it through. Not really how you want to drive these cars, but sometimes you got to if you want to live. And he lives this time, but you're living dangerously. It's up 4 spots where he started, so it's solid effort so far, but as we know, probably going to pick himself up, drive through penalty later on in the race. And once again, it's Nolan 2 and Redmond, but Redmond is into the lead, so Redmond 2 made the move at the penultimate corner as we cut back live from that short replay. Nolan 2 looked to make a move into turn 1, wasn't quite there, and he's lost the rear a little bit, and he's lost momentum. So now he's going to need a little bit of slipstream to get him back into play here. Otherwise, could see Redmond just drive away. He's had a decent run in the mid part of the corner at turn 4. Now it's all about the slipstream. Rossi, meanwhile, behind, he's actually lost ground in the first sector there. 2 leaders despite those two battling. But he was battling Noah Turra and Lockie Lock behind, so that may have compromised his lap times. As you can hear the crowd start to make some noise. They're starting to get excited here. As Nolan 2 and Redmond duke it out. Little bit of biff and barge. We've got yellows down there, so there's a car off in one of these gravel traps. Not sure who it was. Oh, Nolan looks like he's made up a heap of time at the final corner there. He set it up beautifully. Look at them go. 65 kilometers per hour across the start finish line, and a personal best on that lap for Scott Nolan despite losing the lead, and now looking to make the move. These two 3 seconds ahead of Ross, so they put a little bit of time on him as Nolan makes the move up the inside into turn 1. He's wide on the exit, but he'll have the inside for 2, but the outside for 3. He's able to make it stick, and there it is. Like a clock. And Nathan Higginson drive through penalties. His Lockie Lock, a bit of contact with Noah Turra, a bit of door-to-door action, a little bit more contact as well. The Hall on the exit as they all try to force their way through. So Noah Turra now, another man on a mission here. And our 2 leaders going at it again. This is exactly what Brendan Ross wants to get himself back into contention here. But Nolan on the inside, Redmond on the outside. Nolan 2 lives the fight on this occasion, just ahead of Tim Redmond. A little bit wide though is Nolan 2 on the exit of Dandenong Road. It's still got the yellows out down there, so there must be, again, there's got it. No, that's a different one. That's Mike Coulson having a little bit of an adventure at the final corner. As Nolan 2's got Redmond all over the back of him again. Early on the power, wide on the exit. May have just killed his momentum, that little bit of wheel spin here. Gap down to 2.7 seconds between first place and third place. 2.2 over the line and 4 seconds to Turra Noah, that is, as well. So this could turn into a 3 or 4 car battle pack by the time this race is over. If these two, Nolan 2 and Redmond, continue to duke it out here in the remaining laps. Also have a little bit further back, hard charging Smeevil McNeevil. Big dive bomb on Ben Hall, all over the curbs there. Hall going to look for another move up the inside at 4, but you'll kill your momentum just sending it up the inside there like that. And it has, as Rodney, aka Rhodey, has got himself another drive-through penalty. One can only assume for either cutting the track again or speeding in the pit lane, as our 2 leaders side by side into 6. It's Redmond who leads. They're coming up to Mike Coulston, who I'm sure will get out of the way. Big lock up for, I believe that was Nolan there coming down the hill. He's actually got a decent run coming out of Dandenong Road there. And put a little bit of space between himself and the second place Redmond. And we've got Higginson out of the race. So he's just parked it. He's had enough. Well, should probably just not yeet it so hard, and maybe you wouldn't get these penalties. But anyway, we've got McNeevil now all over the back of Lachlan Locke. And Locke going defensive, but I don't think it's going to matter. McNeevil just too quick at this stage. Locke will hold around the outside. So he's done a good job holding him off for now, but one suspects it'll probably get by him. The top of the hill here has been quite good at getting good runs off of this corner. Got another good run here. Can he do it? Around the outside. On the grass there. A little bit of lawn mowing. Saw some weeds he didn't like. And he does it. Around the outside. Schmeevel McNeevil. Now, does he have time? 4 laps. About 4. 3.5 laps to catch Noah Turra and Brendan Ross for a podium. There's every opportunity to. Race win probably out of the order, barring some kind of mischief between Nolan 2 and Redmond. But with these two being as close as they are, and from some of the mistakes we've seen with drivers following another driver too closely into braking zones, may happen. As Redmond fastest lap of his race, a 32.804, not bad. One of the fastest times overall that we've seen in green flag running, not including the first lap. Nolan very deep on the brakes around the outside. Both of them very committed, but Nolan does a fantastic job of being able to maintain speed and hold on to it. And the same goes with Redmond. These guys having a full crack at the moment, but they actually did lose out a little bit of time on that last lap. 2.3 seconds of Brendan Ross behind. Darrell Loughnane now picks himself up a whoopsie penalty. And McNeevil having to get by Locke again there. So he made a mistake. He has. He's done it. Well, almost did a Rossi. But hit the wall at the right times, able to straighten him up. And he has gotten back by Lockie Locke. But also seen Ben Hall drop down the field as well. He's down in 12th, and he was running a little bit higher up earlier on, so not sure what's happened there. It's something that I've missed. But this is it. This is the big battle for the lead. Just look at that peak performance of these vehicles. Look at them fly down the straight. And Lachlan has picked himself up another penalty, as you can see there, just leaving the pits. So one would assume it's gone a little bit too far on the way in. I'm not sure if these cars actually have pit lane speed limiters, and he's hit the wall trying to get out of the way of the leaders there. So he may just park it. Being in the gravel trap down there as our 2 leaders come across Rhodey. Oh, and Redmond on 2 wheels. Redmond on 2 wheels and into the wall. And that could be all Scott Nolan 2 needs to claim victory in race number 4. He's got a bit of breathing room now. But he does have lap traffic to deal with. A little bit further back, still got Schmeevel McNeevil having to deal with Lockie Locke. And then we've also got Cracker ahead of Greg Turra and Taipan. So Greg Turra as well, he's had a bit of an up and down night. He's shown some good pace, but has made some mistakes or been involved in other people's mistakes. Old Cracker just shows up after qualifying and just puts in a nice solid job with no practice. Doesn't throw it off the road and gets a decent result. And we've got Schmeevel McNeevil. He's gone around. What has happened? Has he pushed too hard? He has. He's lost the rear end on the way down the hill. And he's back at it amongst, a few friends, it has to be said. So he's got a bit of work to do now. And also, Nolan did have a 1.1 second lead. Now it's 0.3 of a second, so maybe some lap traffic there. Just causing a bit of havoc. No, not really. Alright, so this is it. 1 lap and an additional 2 sectors to go. As Rody in the background there trying a little bit too hard on the exit of 4. First and second, half a second going by live timing. But it is currently a lot closer than that. And there it is, updated to 1.5 tenths between first and second. Brendan Ross is there. Should these guys make any mishaps, 1.9 seconds adrift now. Do have a good battle between Tara, McNeil and Cracker going on as well, and Type N. But who will claim victory in race number 4? Let's find out after this shot. No, I'm not going to do that. But here's the battle for P7. Big lock up and big contact between Schmeevel and Cracker there. Cracker getting right up involved in it. It's a white flag for these guys. 1 lap to go. A little bit further back, we also have Snipes and Hall duking it out as well, but we cut to our leaders as we see. That's Rody going off again. Die for Redmond at turn 4. Maybe a little bit of light contact there, but they're side by side on the exit of 4, and they're going to go side by side all the way down the straight. A little bit of door-to-door panel rubbing and paint exchanging between Redmond and Nolan too. And Brendan Ross licking his chops here. He could win by default with these guys. The way they're going, no side giving an inch. They're going to go side by side into 6. Neither make contact. Got yellows out there, but who cares? Get out of the way, Termo. And oh, there's contact between the two on the way in, but they're both able to live the fight another day. Neither of them lost too much time. Rossi's not going to be close enough at the moment. Redmond's going to try the outside. We've seen it done here before. And he's done it. He's gone around the outside, but he's gone a bit too deep and he's made contact with Nolan on the exit. Well, I thought for a moment he wasn't quite going to be able to do it, but it's going to be a drag. But Redmond will come over the line just in front. So good battling there on the last lap. Nolan 2 will come home in second with Brendan Ross in third. Lockie Lock in 4th place. Noah Tara in 5th ahead of his old man, who fends off a very angry Schmeevel McNeil and Laszlo Teglas, who recovered well in that last one. We've got Taipan home in 9th, Cracker in 10th, NZ Snipes just ahead of Ben Hall, Matt Cecil in 13th place, with Christian Alvarez about to come home in 14th. And then we have quite a ways to go for Glenn Miles and Melody Smith to finish out their races. But those two near the last. Well, actually, no, Rody. Last of the finishes by the look of it. Making sure everybody has finished here. So let's plan over the start finish line. No, Melody Smith has stopped and the race is still going, and she's got no revs, so may have blown an engine or even ran out of fuel. Now, you shouldn't be running out of fuel in these cars. If you're trying to take fuel out to go faster in a car like this, you deserve to run out of fuel, if I'm being perfectly honest. if that's what happened, it could have just been a blown engine. Is down on the exit of Dandenong Road. That's a little bit more forgivable, but if it is fuel, well, it's just karmic justice for you being silly enough to try and underfuel one of these cars, because like it doesn't really add all that much performance, if we're being perfectly honest. But anyway, that wraps up tonight's broadcast of the ASR Summer Series. Apologies for being a little bit lethargic tonight. Had a long week at work and quite tired, but hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Hopefully you guys racing have enjoyed the racing tonight. It did look a lot cleaner than last week. A lot more respectful out there. Hopefully we can go back to a little bit more variety with the race winners, but still a couple different race winners tonight and some good racing all around. So anyway, from myself, Lewis Wedding, and from the ASR admin crew, enjoy your weekend. And on the Loose Sim Network channel, we'll catch you probably next week. We'll see how I'm going with work and everything, but I would imagine there will be a broadcast next week. So yeah, see you for the next broadcast in a week's time of the ASR Summer Series, aka the Flint, Michigan Mega Bowl.